The phrase, everyone is a child of God, always brings me back. Today we're going to talk about that. Oh gosh, guys. Truly, I feel like one of the biggest, most recent lessons that I learned was honestly keeping my ego in check. You know when you get treated so shittily, you kind of wish the worst upon a person? And then stepping back from that moment, you realize hurt people hurt people. I'm also hurting. They may also be hurting. Not going to try and speak for them or validate their experience because that is not my place. But really, I feel that that's been the turn of the century for me. I grew up with feeling that kind of what is it called? God complex, where, better than everyone else, but also had to work really hard to prove themselves. So people pleasing as well. And stepping away from that, it came from self fulfillment. I received this quote from a podcast where instead of focus so much on yourself that you don't have any time to criticize another person's efforts or, anything like that. And I really feel that it's so true because I used to overthink so much in this past experience that I had. And so now in this present moment, what it had taught me is to really just take a step back, to allow people to make their own choices, to be sound in the choices that I make. And sometimes that required a lot of fucking grit. It required resilience. It required me being real with myself. Like, what do I actually value? What do I want to continue to build? Because if I move forward with malice, thank you, then I will continue to cultivate that. You know what I mean? I say that phrase, everyone is a child of God, because it also reminds me of softness. It reminds me to be kind and caring and compassionate to others, even if I think very differently, even if I live very differently than them or speak very differently than them. Everyone has their own reasons. Seriously. Everyone has their own reasons, and I got so frustrated in the past with not knowing the reason because I wanted to know so badly. I wanted to understand so badly, but there was no space for me. And I think that that's almost the most laughable thing is to try and make space or to fit into some form of a placeholder as if I'm a shape. Our body is constantly changing. We're constantly evolving. We're all capable of accessing a level of understanding. That's, to me, the most beautiful thing about this life. Recently, I've been taking a lot of time alone because I also got fucking sick again, but I also started my period, which is unironic to me. And it's shown me that the cycles are meant to be felt. There was also another quote that I saw on TikTok where it was like, meet people who love the moon because they will also love you when you are not completely full. And I think that that has everything to do with when you need to go into hermit mode or spend some solitude, quality time alone. And I tend to do that. Sometimes it's been years, sometimes it's been months, sometimes it's been a day. And it's just one of those things where I recognized in certain partnerships, certain connections, that these people do not judge me when I start to tune more into myself. That's how I see it because that's what I'm doing. And so when someone, like even myself, and sees someone else kind of taking a step away as a negative thing, especially growing through and healing the anxious attachment that I also was conditioned with, it's really important. It's really important to notice those small wins. And that's what it's all about. And every single thing that we perceive is through ourselves. I was listening to this lady who really is passionate about neuroscience, quantum physics, and things like that. And I freaking believe that science is like the verbalizations of what manifestation is in it's like a complex manner of making sense of something that is still yet to be proven. You know what I mean? It's like that is what I feel that living life is. We're constantly proving to ourselves that anything is possible, that we can succumb to things within our own minds, or we can prevail through situations that we thought were just going to persist for the rest of our lifetime. Right? Sorry, doggo's going crazy out there. And so that is where I'm recollecting myself, because for a moment I was like, huh, there's a connection right now that is really, I would say in a different way, testing me, because it's asking me to apply things that I've learned from the past. And it's shown me how much I've changed, but also how much I want to continue to be this newer version of me. The part of me that saves myself, the part of me that supports me, the part of me that loves me even when I don't feel loved, the part of me that makes an effort to understand but doesn't undervalue the recognition that I intuitively notice or physically notice, right? Body language, the way that someone speaks to you, their willingness to make eye contact, just small things, micro behaviors, right? It's not to dictate or to say that it's all encompassing, because we're all going through our own things throughout the day, right? And so that is where I find myself, because it reminded me, this connection really reminded me of what I experienced in the past and how petty I got and prideful and egoic, and how, yeah, really, those are the words. Because I was placing maybe this person on a pedestal, or I started to think of them in a negative light simply because they decided to reject me. Those kinds of things are important to me, because I feel that that has taught me to not put myself on a pedestal, as well as not put another person on a pedestal. Because truly, we're just people. We're just people living our fucking lives, and we're making the best of what we can of our situation, and trying the best to the best of our abilities to heal, to live our lives, to enjoy it, to feel that love, to be resilient in our nature. And I promise you, like I said in my last video, I'm pretty sure, that things do get better. Things get really fucking good. Like, literally, so many things have been happening where I'm like, wow, this is like genuinely the dream that I had as a child manifested in my actual present reality. Yeah, the kids are riding their scooters, so my dog gets a little protective, but let me go hang out with my Doge. So, thanks for listening. This is a video log once again. Sorry for the disclaimer at the end, but I wanted to just get right into it. I'm just expressing here, okay? I'm just expressing and experiencing my fucking life. And I just wanted to share. So, once again, thank you so much for allowing me the space to speak. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being alive. And I'm sending you so much love, so much support on your own spiritual journey. Bye, collective.